Members of the senior class, parents, grandparents, relatives, and friends, DePauw colleagues, Jason, congratulations, nice job. Alumni, honored guests, and all who are gathered here today. Commencement is not a trivial ritual. Each academic year, the awarding of degrees is the single most important day in the life of the university. And on the individual level, when you seniors write your memoirs 60 years from now, 30,000 days after you were born, this day will appear somewhere on your list of top 10. Without question, this is a major occasion in your life and in the lives of your loved ones. When I think of all the DePauw alumni and dozens of prominent trustees and administrators, and then, to top it off, I look out and see my distinguished faculty associates, I am truly honored that the commencement committee invited me to represent the DePauw family. Thank you very, very much. Well, seniors, when you walk down those steps, you'll have something you've hoped for and dreamed about for a long, long time. And no one can ever take from you those coveted initials, OIT. But what's even more wonderful, you'll be holding a bachelor's degree from DePauw University. And during the next 15 minutes, I want to discuss just a few of the circumstances, past and future, that frame this wonderful celebration. For starters, let's enthusiastically applaud all of the seniors who are receiving academic honors as listed in the program. Good for you. Nice job. But those lists, as meaningful as they are, obscure the human factors, the struggles, the striving, the laughter, the occasional tears, and personal triumphs which go largely unrecognized that have been a part of these past 4 years. When I read your names, I can compile all sorts of lists that flesh out who you are and what you've been up to. True, some lists don't indicate with high praise. They might signify with dumb luck, or conscientious hard workers, concerto finalists, highly competitive, whatever. And of course, your name might appear on more than one list. Clearly, each of your degrees has a singular set of strengths and weaknesses. But every one of you and your parents can celebrate your individual accomplishments, which have been shaped within the context of liberal education. Although the music performance faculty had a slightly different agenda, my colleagues and I were not dedicated to preparing the vast majority of you for professional school, a business career, government service, or anything else. Our mutual task was devoted to self-development and the cultivation of mental power. Consequently, be warned, as you enter the next phase of your life and zero in on a specific interest, whatever it is, you'll probably get the feeling that more than a few of your new companions with their spanking new degrees have a good deal more knowledge, specific skills, or factual information than you. The truth is, many of them will. Be prepared to feel uncomfortable. Students with 16 courses in physics know more physics than students who've had only 11. And besides, you might not stay very long in a physics-related career. Substitute your own interest for physics. It doesn't matter, because details across the board shrink as wisdom grows. The facts are swallowed up in the fundamentals. So more quickly than you might think, any initial information gap will swiftly disappear. Sure, details are important, but remember, life is an open book exam. Wherever you're headed when you walk off this stage, you will face significant challenges that will require you throughout your entire life to pick up many additional facts, and I have no doubt you'll gather what you need to know along the way. Alfred North Whitehead, the British mathematician philosopher, put it this way, quote, "The growth of knowledge becomes progressively unconscious as being an incident derived from some previous active adventure of thought. During the past 4 years, if you've taken your work seriously, whether or not you're receiving any academic honors, you can celebrate that you've experienced many, many adventures of previous thought, which will serve you well for the rest of your lives." But here's a kicker. Although we devoted the last 4 years to conveying the joy of discovery, fostering an intellectual style, and developing an enthusiasm for lifelong learning, it shouldn't come as a surprise that you're leaving DePauw with an education that is useful. To drive home the point, I could quote all sorts of flattering statistics that pertain to DePauw graduates, or outline the professional records of DePauw alumni to illustrate how a DePauw education translates into real-world clout. But perhaps the best I can do with my limited time is to use the same words your parents used when they wanted to end a discussion and move on. Just you wait, you'll see. The trick will be to find the appropriate niche where your particular talents and temperament can construct a meaningful, useful life. But don't decide too soon what you think is best for you. And whatever you do, make sure your niche is fun. If it is, you'll never work a day in your life. Along the way, you'll find that part of your body called the gut is going to play an increasingly important role in the decision-making process. Howard Thurman at Spelman College in Atlanta put it more delicately and gave us a nice picture to go with it. Quote, "Something in every one of you waits for the sound of the genuine in yourself. It is the only true guide you'll ever have. If you cannot hear it, you will forever spend your days on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls. But if your gut can be trusted to give you a good, reliable sense of who you really are, you've had to read some serious works, discuss provocative ideas with faculty and classmates, write down your thoughts for critical review, and during the process, honestly search your soul. If during these past 4 years you are unable to hear the sound of your genuine self within reasonable limits and subject to change, I'd be surprised. Just don't ask for your money back." As regards a satisfying life, much of the current political and media hype suggests that more Americans need to discover the personal rewards that accrue when human beings give something of themselves to others. Well, I suggest no group of graduating seniors anywhere in this nation, with the possible exception of a handful of schools, understands and appreciates the rewards of service and volunteerism more than you. Parents, just within the past few months, the John Templeton Foundation named DePauw to the honor roll of character-building colleges, and the publication Who Cares, sponsored by the Princeton Review, cited DePauw as one of 3 schools where community service is a top priority and a college where students can make a positive difference in the lives of others. Of course, those honors didn't materialize overnight. What might be called the modern era of outreach began more than 25 years ago, when Professors Clint Gass and Forrest Fuller organized a group of student volunteers to help construct a church on the island of Anguilla. Since then, thanks to the leadership of Chaplain Lamar and more recently Stuart Lord, we can all celebrate that the spirit of service to others has been woven tightly into the fabric of the DePauw experience. Speaking of others, you know, seniors, bumping into someone you want to live with the rest of your life has a way of sneaking up on you if it hasn't already happened. I know. For many of you, marriage isn't even a blip on the radar screen, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway. Because wasn't it just yesterday when you first set foot on campus? Well, in less time than that, and possibly with someone you've yet to meet, the tension between advancing a career and raising a family is going to hit many of you right between the eyes. One sentence in an email from a 95 physics major supports my assertion, quote, "I have been to so many weddings in the past 2 years, it's sick." Now, I know when your generation uses the word sick, you don't mean unhealthy. But what could be unhealthy is this. In the world you're about to face, instantaneous communication links and rapid global air travel are turning work-family relationships topsy-turvy. The mushroom of the internet and global teleconferencing have revolutionized communications. Heavy-duty 10,000-foot runways and instrument landing systems are in place all around the world. Right now, it's almost as easy to get to Lhasa, Tibet as Los Angeles, California. Take my word for it, LXA isn't much farther from Greencastle than LAX. In the rapidly emerging 24-hour global economy, try all you want. Many of you will be unable to avoid extensive travel. As Woody Allen said, 80% of success is showing up. Maybe Woody said 90% of sex is being there. I don't know. I'll put it this way. To set the pace, you gotta show your face. The way things are today, liberal arts colleges, for very sound pragmatic reasons, need to send student athletes throughout a 7-state area just to play games. Think of what you'll soon face when you enter what you call the real world. The March 17th issue of Fortune magazine had this to say, quote, "In a world that's become a global village, the heroes will be the ones who are free to fly to Singapore on a moment's notice, not the poor schleps who have to stay home to relieve the nanny." Oh, you say you're hearing how computer and video links will allow the husband and wife, or both, to work from home, reduce the need for travel, and thus have more time for hobbies, general leisure, and the family. Well, maybe, but watch out. In the not-too-distant future, when you and your family are living in Chicago and the sun's going down, don't fire up the grill. You know why? Because it's the beginning of the business day in Osaka. And on those days when you're not in Osaka, you'll be telling your spouse to watch the kids while you go to the den, turn on the computer, get settled in front of the video camera for your nightly video teleconference with associates in Japan. True, modern communications might give you the freedom to do a lot of work from home, but the danger is, if your work is fun, and you attack it with enthusiasm and joy, your home can easily turn into an extension of your office. Flexible work schedules can be advantageous, but your family will need you too. Make sure you understand that the term flexible shouldn't be a euphemism for perpetual. For those of you going into private practices or businesses built around local or regional economies, the pressure will quite likely not be as severe. But even for you, the tension between career advancement and family obligations should not be dismissed lightly. That's particularly true if you're planning to have children. Based on your readings, discussions, and practical service experiences, in your gut, you should know better than most that what kids really need, regardless of family income, are not 21-year-old college volunteers. They need committed moms and dads. Thank you. In a 7-page story in this May 12th issue of U.S. News and World Report, senior writer Shannon Brownlee and editor Matthew Miller argue, quote, "Few topics are as important and involve as much dishonesty and self-deception as finding the proper balance between family and work. If you should decide to go through life with a teammate because you're convinced the two of you can make beautiful music together, honestly pledge that you're going to sing from the same score. If any of you women get involved with a fella who sort of hints around that he'd just as soon like to manage the household and be a full-time father, I hope you have the sense to say, honey, it's okay. But if it should work the other way around and some of you women find your genuine self is telling you to delay or even forego a career, and one of your women friends is absolutely aghast that you just as soon be a full-time mother instead of hopping on the business bandwagon, first, level with your husband, then look your friend in the eye and tell her, honey, it's okay. Of course, the key to living a satisfying life is to live it the way you want. But whether you choose to live it in the style of the Lone Ranger, one half of a childless couple, in a family of 4 with a dog and cat, whatever, if you choose a particular lifestyle because you think it is expected of you, you will almost certainly be miserable. To conclude, as you commence, I hope your gut is telling you that the excitement and joy of living is in confronting, head-on, whatever challenges you face, using your particular talents and skills to serve others, and strive to always give the very best you can, and then let the results fall where they may. Well, the class of '97 as a whole will never be together again. Sure, you'll stay in touch with some, maybe even a lot of your classmates, but as hard as it is to believe, you'll not see some of your closest buddies ever again. So before driving off into the sunset, take a few minutes to seek out your friends, give them a big hug and a hearty handshake. Parents and grandparents, I've got to warn you, this area around the boulder, under the trees by East College on commencement day, takes on a certain magical quality. When the name of your child is called and a little stardust gets into your eyes and you got to take a handkerchief or a finger to wipe away a tear, it's okay. It's okay. Seniors, congratulations, all the best. Have a wonderful life. Go get 'em.